In life, everyone faces moments when strength is not enough. You can train every day, you can build your body, sharpen your mind, prepare for every opponent, but there comes a time when you realize that physical power alone cannot carry you through. It is faith that fills the space between what you can control and what you cannot. Faith gives meaning to the struggle. It reminds you that every hardship, every sacrifice, every moment of pain is part of something greater than yourself. Faith is the strongest armor. It gives strength when the body and mind are tired. There comes a point in every person's life when physical strength reaches its limit, when the mind begins to question its own endurance, and when even the most disciplined routine feels heavy. In those moments, faith becomes the invisible force that keeps you standing. It is not seen, it is not measured, but it is deeply felt. Faith is what gives meaning to pain and direction to perseverance. It is what transforms struggle into growth and exhaustion into purpose. Without faith, even the strongest body eventually breaks, but with faith, even the weakest heart can rise again. Faith teaches that there is something greater than ourselves guiding every step. It reminds a person that no effort is wasted, no hardship is meaningless. When everything around you feels uncertain, faith becomes the constant that holds you together. It whispers patience when your plans fail. It gives calmness when fear takes over. Many people think that strength comes only from hard work, but faith teaches that true power comes from surrender, surrendering the outcome while giving your best to the process. It is believing that whatever happens, happens for a reason, that every test is designed to shape you, not break you. When the body is tired, faith gives endurance. It gives energy that cannot be explained through logic. You might wake up feeling weak, questioning if you can continue. But one sincere prayer, one deep breath of trust, reignites the spirit. Faith renews what motivation cannot. It does not remove pain, but it gives the courage to endure it with purpose. It gives you the strength to take one more step when logic says stop, to stay grounded when pressure rises, and to keep humility when success finally comes. In moments of defeat, faith protects the heart from bitterness. It reminds you that loss is not the end, but a lesson. It helps you see beyond the surface of events, to understand that sometimes failure is a gift, a redirection towards something greater. When people lose faith, they begin to see only the pain, not the purpose behind it. They start questioning their worth, their destiny, and their abilities. But a person with unbreakable faith understands that every struggle is temporary and every storm eventually clears. They remain calm in the face of difficulty because they trust the process, not just the result. Faith also guards the mind against pride. When you start winning, when people begin to praise you, it is easy to believe that success belongs only to you. But faith reminds you to stay humble, to remember that every talent, every victory, every blessing is given, not earned alone. It teaches gratitude, and gratitude keeps the heart pure. Faith is what stops arrogance from turning triumph into downfall. It reminds you to say, Alhamdulillah, or thank you, not only after victories, but also after defeats, because both are part of growth. When fear appears, faith becomes a shield. Fear tries to convince you that you are not enough, that the future is uncertain, that failure is final. But faith answers fear with trust. It allows you to move forward, even without guarantees. It replaces anxiety with acceptance and panic with patience. You learn that you do not have to control everything. You only need to stay steadfast to your path and let the rest unfold as it is meant to. Faith is not about knowing what will happen next. It is about believing that whatever happens will lead you to where you need to be. Faith makes the heart strong, not by removing struggle, but by giving it meaning. The true test of faith is not in comfort, but in hardship. It is easy to believe when life goes your way. It is harder when everything falls apart. Yet, that is where the most powerful kind of strength is built. The strength that doesn't depend on circumstances. When everything seems lost, faith says, keep going. When you have nothing left to give, faith says, you are not alone. That belief, quiet but unbreakable, becomes the armor that protects your heart, fuels your discipline, and keeps your spirit undefeated no matter what challenges you face. True power is not in defeating others, but in conquering fear through belief. Many people think power is about dominance, being stronger, louder, more feared than others. They believe victory over others defines greatness. But real power is quiet, internal, deeply personal. It has nothing to do with controlling people or proving superiority. True power is the ability to control yourself when faced with fear, pressure, and uncertainty. It's not about how hard you hit, but how calm you stay when life hits you. A person who conquers fear through belief becomes unbreakable, not because they are fearless, but because their faith is stronger than their fear. Fear exists in everyone. It hides behind confidence, ambition, even success. It appears when you step outside comfort, when you chase goals bigger than yourself, when the outcome is unknown. Fear makes the mind restless. It creates doubt and hesitation. But faith transforms that fear into energy, into focus, into trust. When you believe deeply in your purpose, in your preparation, in something greater guiding you, fear loses its power. You stop fighting against it and start walking through it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite it. And the only thing that makes this possible is belief. In the face of fear, the natural reaction is to retreat. The body tightens, the mind overthinks, the heart becomes heavy. But a person of belief responds differently. They see fear as a test, a signal that growth is near. They understand that fear is not the enemy, it is a teacher. It reveals what still needs to be strengthened, where discipline must be deeper, and where faith must be stronger. Each time you face fear and choose to believe, you build resilience. Over time, you stop fearing challenges because you have learned that every challenge carries a lesson that brings you closer to your true potential. Defeating others might bring attention, but defeating fear brings peace. The satisfaction that comes from winning over another person fades quickly, but the confidence that comes from overcoming your own doubts lasts forever. Many people chase recognition, but never feel fulfilled, because their victories depend on comparison. When your belief allows you to conquer fear, you no longer need to compare yourself. You stop measuring your worth by others' achievements. You become free. That freedom, the ability to stand firm, act with integrity, and stay calm no matter what happens, is the essence of true power. Belief is not blind hope. It is trust built on effort, discipline, and consistency. It grows when you keep showing up even when things are difficult, when you keep pushing even when success seems far away. Every time you work hard, every time you stay honest, every time you refuse to give up, you are feeding belief. And this belief becomes the armor that protects you from fear. When you have done your best and put your faith in something higher, you no longer need to fear the result. You understand that outcomes are temporary, but growth is permanent. Fear often comes from wanting control over time, over people, over destiny. But belief teaches surrender. It teaches that you do not need to control everything. You just need to stay sincere and steadfast. Once you surrender to the process, you realize that fear cannot break you, because your strength no longer depends on certainty. You are no longer chasing perfection. You are trusting purpose. That is why the strongest people are often the calmest. They don't waste energy fighting fear. They transform it into faith. The greatest victories in life come from within. They come when you choose patience over panic, belief over doubt, humility over pride. When fear whispers, "You are not enough," belief answers, "You are exactly where you need to be." This quiet confidence, born from belief, allows you to act with courage in the face of uncertainty. You stop fighting against the world and start aligning with it. True power is not about how many people you can defeat, but how deeply you can trust when everything seems uncertain. It is the strength to move with conviction, to remain grounded in faith, and to face life's hardest tests without letting fear dictate your path. Every success must stay rooted in humility and gratitude to the Creator. Without humility, success becomes dangerous. Without gratitude, it becomes empty. A person can reach the highest level of achievement, earn respect from millions, and still lose peace if pride takes control. True success is not only what you achieve, but how you handle it. When success is built on humility and gratitude, it remains clean and pure. It doesn't blind you. It doesn't change your heart. It reminds you that everything achieved in life is a gift, a combination of your effort and the opportunities given by something greater than yourself. Humility begins with remembering where you started. No matter how far you go, never forget the early days, the struggle, the sacrifices, the moments of doubt, and the people who supported you when no one else did. Those memories keep your feet on the ground. They remind you that success is not built alone. Every teacher, mentor, parent, or friend who helped you along the way is part of your journey. When you acknowledge that arrogance fades and gratitude grows, a humble person doesn't need to prove anything. They let their work and their behavior speak for them. Gratitude transforms success from a selfish pursuit into a meaningful one. When you are grateful, you see every blessing as a responsibility, not a possession. You understand that your position, your talent, your platform exists to serve others, to inspire, to give back. Gratitude makes you generous. It softens the heart and clears the mind. It reminds you that even in victory, you must remain thankful. Because without divine support, without timing, without unseen protection, your efforts could not have aligned perfectly. Gratitude turns success into worship, and humility turns worship into action. Many people lose themselves after success because they forget gratitude. They begin to believe they are the sole reason for their achievements. They forget the late nights, the prayers, the lessons from failure, the guidance that came at the right time. Pride makes them see success as something earned only through personal power. And when that happens, the fall becomes inevitable. Pride closes the heart to learning, to correction, to reflection. But humility keeps the door open for growth. It reminds you that success is not a finish line, but another test. A test of character, of how you treat others when you no longer need help, and how you behave when no one can tell you no. When you stay humble, you can enjoy success without being controlled by it. Fame, money, recognition, they're not problems. The problem begins when you let them change your purpose. Humility helps you see success as a temporary stage, not your identity. It gives you balance. You don't become arrogant when praised, and you don't lose confidence when criticized. Gratitude complements this balance by teaching appreciation for both triumphs and trials. You begin to thank not only for what went right, but also for what went wrong. Because even the difficulties were lessons in disguise. Gratitude makes every moment meaningful, even the painful ones. Being grateful to the Creator keeps the heart peaceful. It removes the pressure of constantly proving yourself, because your worth is not measured by achievements, but by sincerity. Gratitude turns every success into an opportunity to show respect by being kind to others, staying disciplined, using your blessings wisely. It teaches that true strength is not about how high you rise, but how well you carry your values once you do. When your faith guides your gratitude, you begin to see success as a tool to serve, not a reason to boast. The combination of humility and gratitude keeps a person undefeated in spirit. You can lose a title, face setbacks, experience criticism, but you never lose peace. Because your happiness is not tied to status, it's tied to purpose. When you remain humble, you continue learning. When you remain grateful, you could continue growing. Success then becomes something more than a goal. It becomes a means of connection with people, with purpose, with the Creator. Every success that stays rooted in humility and gratitude becomes timeless because it carries light, not just recognition. The test of faith begins when comfort ends. Struggle reveals belief. It's easy to speak about faith when life is smooth, when things go as planned, when success seems certain. But true faith is not proven in moments of ease. It is revealed when everything becomes difficult, when you face uncertainty, loss, pain, failure. That's when faith shows its real strength. It is in the dark moments, when no one is watching, that your belief is truly tested. Anyone can believe when they see results, but only those with real faith can believe when there is nothing to see yet. Struggle strips away comfort, pride, and illusion, leaving only what is real, your character and your faith. When everything feels comfortable, faith is rarely challenged. Comfort creates a false sense of control. It makes you believe that you are the one directing every outcome. But when life becomes hard, when the things you depend on begin to fall apart, that's when you are reminded you are not in control of everything. Struggle humbles the heart, clears the mind. It forces you to depend not on circumstances, but on inner strength and divine guidance. In those moments, faith becomes more than a word. It becomes survival. It becomes clarity. It becomes peace. When comfort disappears, fear and doubt take its place. You start to question yourself, your purpose, your direction. The road becomes uncertain. The mind begins to imagine failure. But if faith lives in your heart, you find the strength to keep walking. Faith doesn't always make the path easier, but it gives you courage to face it. It tells you that even in pain, there is a lesson. Even in silence, there is presence. Faith turns hardship into training, into preparation for something greater. Every test becomes an opportunity to grow, to strengthen patience, to deepen trust. Struggle reveals the truth of what you believe in. When challenges arrive, people either break or build. Some lose themselves in frustration. Others find themselves in surrender. The difference is faith. A person who truly believes sees beyond the difficulty. They see purpose in every event. They know that the same force that gave blessings in the past is still guiding them now. Even if the path feels rough, that understanding gives peace. Even when things are unclear, struggle becomes less about suffering and more about learning. You begin to understand tests are not punishments. They are reminders. Reminders to return to your foundation, to remember your purpose, to strengthen your connection to what matters most. There are moments in every journey when quitting seems easier than continuing. The body gets tired. The mind grows restless. The heart feels heavy, but it's in those moments that faith speaks the loudest. It says, "Be patient. This pain has meaning." Every moment of struggle refines you, removing weakness, revealing strength. Just as fire purifies metal, hardship purifies faith. When you come out of difficulty with your belief intact, you become stronger than before. Not because the pain disappeared, but because you learn to stand firm despite it. Faith during comfort is a choice. Faith during struggle is a victory. It's easy to believe when you are surrounded by support and success, but when you are alone, when the future feels uncertain, when you must rely solely on unseen guidance, that's when faith becomes real. It gives you stability when the world shakes. It helps you smile in silence. It reminds you This is temporary, and every difficulty carries wisdom. Struggle also teaches gratitude. When you lose comfort, you begin to value the small things: health, family, peace, time, faith itself. You start to see blessings you once overlooked. You become softer in spirit, more patient, more understanding of others' pain. Struggle connects you with humanity. It deepens your humility. You realize everyone is fighting their own battles. And faith becomes not only your strength, but your compassion. When comfort fades, faith steps forward. It reminds you that life's challenges are not meant to destroy you, but to prepare you. It turns your attention from what you have lost to what you are learning. Each difficulty becomes a step toward maturity and wisdom. The true measure of belief is not how loudly you speak about it when everything is perfect, but how quietly and consistently you hold on to it. When everything falls apart, struggle reveals belief, because only through pressure does faith prove its strength, and only through hardship does the soul learn to trust beyond sight. Discipline without faith is directionless. Faith without discipline is incomplete. These two are like the wings of a bird. Both must work together for a person to rise above challenges and stay balanced. Discipline gives structure, consistency, and order to life, while faith gives it purpose, meaning, and resilience. Without faith, discipline becomes mechanical, a routine without soul. Without discipline, faith becomes empty words without action. The true strength of a person lies in uniting belief and effort, trusting in a higher purpose, while working relentlessly toward it every day. Discipline is the physical expression of faith. It transforms belief into reality. When you wake up early to train, when you hold yourself accountable, when you choose integrity over convenience, that is faith in motion. You might not see results immediately, but you continue because you trust that consistency brings reward. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. It demands sacrifice, focus, and self-control. It allows you to move forward. Even when motivation disappears, faith provides the reason to keep going. Discipline provides the path to get there. A person who has discipline but lacks faith often finds success, yet feels empty. They may achieve goals but struggle to find meaning in them. They do everything right on the outside but feel restless inside. Their work becomes about proving something rather than serving something. Without faith, discipline can turn into pride or obsession. It can make a person efficient but not fulfilled. True balance comes when every disciplined act is connected to a higher purpose. When you train not just to win, but to honor your values. When you work not only for reward, but to fulfill the responsibility you believe was given to you. Faith turns hard work into devotion, and that devotion brings peace, peace that success alone can never give. On the other hand, faith without discipline remains just hope. Many people speak about faith but fail to act on it. They pray for strength, yet avoid the effort required to build it. They trust that destiny will take care of everything, but forget that effort is part of destiny too. Real faith is not passive. It pushes you to act. It gives you the will to keep moving, even when progress feels slow. Faith inspires, but discipline completes the inspiration. Through disciplined effort, faith becomes visible. In the way you work, in the way you speak, in the way you handle struggle, faith gives light. Discipline gives form to that light. Discipline also protects faith. Life will test belief through delay, hardship, disappointment. There will be days when faith feels weak, when prayers seem unanswered, and when the heart grows tired. In those times, discipline becomes the guard that keeps you moving. Even when you feel no motivation, your habits carry you. You keep showing up. You keep doing what is right. And through that consistency, your faith slowly renews. Discipline becomes the rope that pulls you through doubt. It keeps your belief alive until your heart feels strong again. Both faith and discipline demand patience. Neither produces instant results, but together they build something lasting. Discipline teaches endurance. Faith teaches acceptance. One keeps you working hard, the other keeps you calm. One builds external strength, the other builds inner peace. When both align, your actions become powerful and your spirit becomes steady. You stop rushing for results and start focusing on growth. Every effort becomes an act of belief. Every challenge becomes a lesson. And every success becomes a moment of gratitude. When discipline and faith coexist, you find balance between control and surrender. You learn that you are responsible for your effort, but not for every outcome. You give your best each day, trusting that what is meant for you will come. This balance removes anxiety and builds confidence. You stop fearing failure because you understand that as long as you are consistent and sincere, you are already succeeding. The world measures results, but faith and discipline measure commitment. Together, they form the foundation of a life driven by purpose, steady, peaceful, and unshakable.